Welcome to October. As expected, the market has picked up in activity after Labor Day as far as how many offers we're getting per listing, how many bodies are through the open house and private showings. That said, what's really interesting is the offer spread. We see huge variations, and very consistently a third of our buyers are in la land who don't really understand the market perhaps. The mid 33% of the buyers, the mid-third of the buyers has the market sentiment from the summer. They understand that things have been picking up, but they're not quite reflecting that in their prices. And then there's the upper tier, the top 33% of the offers that we see tend to be more realistic and reflect the true market dynamics. And there's a huge, 10% price difference between these different groups. It's a vast gap. So if you are on the buying side or have a friend, a family, coworker looking at the buying side of things, you really have to be aware of that offer spread, not to quote unquote overpay, because you never know who you're competing against. So the strategy there would be to start on the lower end and then creep up if needed once you know what the competition's like, versus just throwing another 100K at it. Now on the list side, it's important to understand in terms of offer negotiation that, which buyers are you dealing with? Are you dealing with an offer from the top tier, middle tier, or bottom tier? And perhaps it's worth countering the buyer. Perhaps it's worth trying to see if there's a bit more money to be had there. All depends, of course. The feedback I am hearing from buyers during open houses these days, a lot of buyers are kind of dragging their feet this last week, especially simply because of the elections, and that's the feedback I'm getting on the listings, that people just want the election to be over, and then there's just too much uncertainty as far as the bond and the stock market goes. So if anybody was to list a property, I would imagine it would be over the next week or so, the next 2 weeks. I'd imagine it would be after the election, and the activity, activity from an inventory perspective is probably going to pause for just right now. We shall see. I'm always here to help you create a better life through real estate. Thank you so much for watching it. See you next time.